So we're here with Bob Diamond, and we have a few questions we wanted to ask him that we get quite often. So Bob, are you ready for some questions?
Absolutely, yes. What do you got?
So we have a few frequently asked questions. One is, how is this different than everything else that I've seen?
It's a really unique business. I mean, a business where you can just go help people recover money, get paid a percentage of it without having to invest capital to buy the claim or something like that. Really very unique. I think the closest thing I could think of is being like a personal injury attorney getting paid, when other people get hurt. But you don't have to go to law school. You don't have to do that investment, and you don't need to be that smart. You don't have to know all those things that a personal injury lawyer would have to know. So I think it's really unique in the realm of something you do from home. And also the profitability is unique because, these claims, on average, ones we handle are a little over $40,000, and we're getting paid 40% of the amount that we recover. And, it's typically 8 to 10 hours worth of work. So to get paid, $16,000 for 8 to 10 hours worth of work is a lot of money. I said, even as an attorney, that's a lot of money to get paid. And, regular people can do that though. As long as you have some specialized knowledge, you take what we teach you and you adopt it and run with it, you can make incredible amounts of money. So I think the profitability really sets it apart.
That's really important. And one of the other differences is the fact that you don't need to use your own credit. You don't have to go get a mortgage, those kind of things as well, right?
Yeah, you're providing a service. So it's not, you're not needing to borrow money. You're not leveraging capital, you're leveraging your time. And the other thing that's unique is this is truly a helping business. One of the businesses that, when I think of different things you could do, this is truly a helping business because you're helping people who are flat on their back financially. They've been really hurt. They've lost their house at a tax sale, and you're going to help them, get some money back, hopefully a substantial amount of money, and get started over again. And that's a really special part of this business. And
another question that people often ask is, what's in it for me? So when they're looking at doing this kind of business, what's in it for them as far as, you just talked about helping, but what other thing is in it for them? Profitability.
You make substantial amounts of money for yourself and your family. We're charging 40% of what we recover. We feel that reflects the value that we bring to the table. Now, some people will honestly be uncomfortable with that. Some people say, I think you guys overcharge. Okay, that's people can certainly have different opinions. If you want to charge 30%, charge 30%. It's a free country. I won't make you charge anything. But do make it commensurate with the value that you're bringing. Without you, they're never going to get this money. And you're going to have to do work to go find them, to go sign them up, and to go do it. So make sure you get paid well for what you do. At the same time, give them the majority of the money. Just make it fair to them. But be fair to yourself also and your family.
Right.
You don't have to be a poor saint to do this. You just have to be a good person that wants to be some help.
Absolutely. So another question that people ask a lot, and they just think this is absolutely unbelievable. So how do you know that this is real?
It's horrible. Yes, it's unbelievable, and horrible things happen. It's unbelievable that so many people lose their house at tax sale. More than 1 million a year lose their house at tax sale. And that the government then doesn't go track them down and give them a check. That's the unbelievable part to me, that they don't do that, but they're not going to do that. They're a bureaucracy. They'll give you the money back if you fill in the form properly and request it, but they're not going to come find you.
Right.
The local sheriff is not going to pull up in a squad car with a check, say, "Oh, so glad I found you. Here's your check." That's just not going to happen.
Right.
They're a bureaucracy, and they're not against giving you the money. They're not pro giving you the money. And it's an unbelievable and sad thing that our system is set up to not really track these people down, call them, give them the news. We have to do that as private citizens.
Right.
And, it's unbelievable that so many people lose their money. And just statistically speaking, if you look at the National Association of Unclaimed Property Administrators, which is a trade group of essentially people that run unclaimed funds around the country for governments.
Right.
5.4% of the money gets recovered or returned in a given year, which would mean that 94.6% doesn't get returned.
Wow.
That's sinful. That's bad.
Yeah.
And so we help with that problem.
Wow. And so the other question that a lot of times people get is that something is just holding them back, and they're afraid to be able to do this business. Have you come across people who have this kind of fear?
And I think we all have those things. We all have things that we're afraid of putting ourselves out there. And, what I would say is this is not dangerous to your wallet. It's not dangerous to, legally, I'm a lawyer. It's not dangerous in any ways like that.
Right.
You're going to have to put yourself out there a little bit. You're going to need to call people up, tell them the good news. Some people aren't going to be nice to you. Now, usually not nice. It's not they yell at you or anything.
Right.
It's more like you call up and like, oh, we're having dinner right now. I can't talk. I see your number on caller ID. I'll call you later. And then they don't. Mm-hmm. And, you have to put that in the fact that some people aren't in a position at that time, at that moment, to listen to you mentally.
Right.
And they're not going to, and it's okay.
Right.
And we have ways to, to optimize the opportunity, but everybody's not going to talk to you. But you do, if you want different results in your life, you're going to have to step out there and try something new. Because if you do the same things you've always done, you'll get the results you've always gotten. And if you're happy with that, that's great. But if you want something new, you're going to have to be brave and try something new.
And I think that rejection is one thing that you see a lot, is that people are afraid that if I call them up and they reject me, but that's not really a rejection, right? It's just about talking to somebody.
It's not rejecting you. They don't even know you.
Yeah.
It's situational. Like someone calls them up, says, hey, Jennifer, I'm so glad I got a hold of you. You're owed a really substantial refund, and our company helps people in your position get refunds, and I'd love to help you. It's $40,000. Would you like our help? If you say, no, this is a scam, and you hang up, let's say that's like the worst that would happen.
Right.
So what really happened? Someone hung up and you gave your elevator pitch in about 40 seconds and someone didn't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
They don't know you. It's not personal.
Right.
It can't be, because they don't know enough about you. What it is, it's where they are in their life at that moment.
Right.
They've had some hard tax. They've lost their house at tax sale. So just respect that and don't take it personally when it's not. It's not directed at you personally. It's more where they are in their line. And the other thing is there are plenty of people that are nice.
Right.
Now, the mean people stick out in our minds, right? That's like, they're the ones that stick out. But the vast majority of people are fine. And when they don't want to talk, they just try to duck you. It's just like, oh, I'm having dinner. I got to walk the dog. My wife needs something. It's those kinds of things.
And that same thing, one of the things I know that you teach in your course as well is that I know that even most of us don't always answer the phone if we don't recognize the phone number. So you can also leave a message and encourage them to call back, right?
You can absolutely just leave a short message, and sometimes they call back, sometimes they don't. You'll leave a couple of messages. You may send them a note. Hey, I tried to call you a couple times to get in touch. You're owed a pretty good refund. I'll try and call you again next week, so that maybe then when they see your number come across. We teach you how to cultivate them so that they'll be open to a conversation. And I would just say, just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Right. You just have to be kind to yourself. You're trying something new. Sometimes you're going to be like, did I just say that? I can't believe I just said that. Yeah, you said it. Sometimes we all make mistakes. We're dancing and we stepped on our partner's foot. Right. It happens. It's not deadly. And you just have to put it in perspective and just try not to get in your own way. That's all. That's often, I think, in life, we're our own worst enemies. And it's by trying something you can get somewhere new, and you will. Yeah. You will. And if you just do it, you'll have success. Now, some people, obviously, success will come faster and easier. Right. Some people come slower. It's okay. And thankfully, in this business, you're not putting a lot at risk. It's not like you're investing $100,000 buying a house to fix up. Right. This is, you're making a couple phone calls, and some people will say yes, some people won't say yes.
Right. I think that's great advice, is just talk to them and be human. And in a lot of ways, I see that you almost can never say the wrong thing to the right person, but it's just about communicating.
Yes. And it won't be perfect, and you just have to be forgiving of yourself. Just be okay with it.
Right.
Be okay you said something silly.
Yeah.
At worst case scenario, you learn from it. And as you'll find out as you get into this business, there are way more leads than you can ever talk to. I have 3,000 tax sales a day. You can never keep up with them all. And so if you really muff it, it's okay. Just go on to the next one. And sometimes also people, when they get started, will sometimes just take some practice runs. Look at little claims like $500 claims, $1,000 claims, $2,000 claims, just to break the ice with talking to people. They get used to that. And at the end of the conversation, I'm talking to say, hey, Jennifer, I noticed this is a $1,500 claim. It's actually a little smaller than we handle. So let me tell you where the money is, who to call to get it, and make sure that you're set. It's been really great talking to you. We don't need to do this work for you, but let me make sure you're in a good place and give you this person. The person you're talking to is going to be very happy.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, thank you. You mean you really don't want anything? No, just shoot me a note when you get the money and just say thank you.
Yeah.
Or give me a little testimonial that says, hey, Bob called. I couldn't believe that I could be actually owed money, but here I am. I got a check. And if he calls you should listen to him.
That's beautiful, because then you get a testimonial.
Yes.
And testimonials are really important.
Yes.
So here's another question that people ask a lot. Who's to blame? So in the middle of this whole overage thing, who's to blame with this?
Just the way life is structured. I mean, so we have our school systems, and much of our local government is based on real estate taxes.
Right.
The mayor's office, the pothole guys who fix the potholes, the school system, probably the biggest single line item. And those are based on taxes on real estate. So if you don't pay your real estate taxes, the government really has to do something, because at the local level, they can't print money. It's not like they have access to extra money. So they have to collect those taxes. So if you don't pay, they are going to force your house to be sold at a public auction to pay those taxes.
Right.
Now, they're not bloodthirsty. Someone's going to be at least 3 or 4 years behind in taxes before they sell the house. But mark my words, they will sell the house if you don't pay those taxes. So, sometimes people get in a position where they don't pay them. Now, sometimes it's because the owner died and the family doesn't pay the taxes. Often the story behind that is that one of the kids who didn't do well in life, was living in the house, maybe taking care of mom and dad as they got older and got sick. Mom and dad pass away. And then the person that didn't do well in life is still living there. So the rest of the family members say, well, we're not going to pay to fix the house and the taxes and all that. So we're washing our hands of it.
Right.
And after 3 or 4 years, that house will go to tax sale. And that's how it gets resolved. And the family's long since walked away from it.
Right.
And that's when we're going to teach you how to find those people, reach back out to them, tell them surprising and amazing news that they actually could get something out of all this.
Yeah.
And it's not just a total loss. So often we're always calling with really good news. And sometimes some people will listen and say yes, some people won't, and just be even about it. Be okay with it.
Right.
And you'll do fine.
So another question that people get and that ask so often is, why now? Timing. Why now?
That's a good one. A couple of reasons. One, with all the disruption we've had economically, businesses being shut down, being forced to shut down, people being out of work, tax sales are going through the roof. They're going to continue. And so it's a great time. It already was before that. It didn't need, any kind of catastrophe to get any better than it was. It's already a huge, robust business. The other thing that is really interesting, and I didn't see this coming, I probably should have, but didn't, house prices have gone way up.
Yeah.
House price now is over $400,000 per house on average in the United States. Really a lot. Just a couple short years ago, it was a little over $200,000. And my recollection is that was 3 or 4 years ago. It wasn't long ago. And when a house sells at tax sale, what someone pays is based on the value of the house. So as the value of the house goes up, the amount someone will pay goes up. And so if you're talking about a house that was $200,000, maybe it sells for $140,000, $150,000 at tax sale, buyer's happy, they've got a great deal. If it's a $400,000 house, then they're probably going to pay $280,000 to $300,000 and be really happy. And that just means there's a bigger overage, because the overage is just the mathematical difference between the taxes that were owed and the money that paid at auction. They're really simple. So when that house value goes up, the size of the overage just expands enormously. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing much bigger overages, which means much bigger opportunity, because we work for a percentage of the money we recover. So this is the time to get into this business. Not only we've had a lot of economic disruption, a lot of people out of work, a lot of businesses shut down, so more tax sale foreclosures, but also for a lot more money. So the amount of money is so much larger. You're going to help people a lot more because you're going to get them more money. And you're also going to help yourself, help your family, have a great business where you help people and make a great living.
So now is the time. So there's an urgency. Definitely now is the time.
Now.
But why you? Why should someone trust you?
I want to say because I'm an attorney, but I think everybody would just laugh. Well, seriously. So I've been an attorney since 2005. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
I think that has been a while. Time goes by quickly. So I know the technical ends of the business. I'm in the business. We have what is probably the largest overages business in the country. I don't know that because I don't know what everybody does, but we've been doing it for over 10 years, and we've done thousands of these deals. So we know how to do the business. And also, I'll just put my own plug in. I hate bragging myself, but I'll say it. I'm good at teaching. I really am good at making things clear, making things approachable. I don't feel the need to use Latin terms to impress you with my great education. I'm interested in communicating in a way that people can understand, grab it, and use the information. That's what I would say. I'm sure there are other people who bring good value. I have no idea. Who I know one or two of my former students are out there teaching about this. It doesn't matter. I think if you want the technical expertise, that's, we're second to none with that because I know what I'm doing. We've done all the research and I keep up with it. We're also in the business. You're not teaching something that we did 5 years ago. We do the business. Now I'm sensitive to the fact that people don't want to compete against me. I get that. So what we do is we work our way around the country, do a couple of deals in the state, a couple of deals in that state, a couple of deals, and we constantly circumnavigate like that. That way I can always be giving you current information. I can always feel confident that what I'm teaching is the correct latest information. And it's not something that, 5 years ago it was that way.
Right.
We're always doing those deals. So I think that's why. And not to say that other people are not good. I'm sure they're fine. I don't know. I don't follow other people's courses or whatever. I would say most of them are probably my former students, I would guess. But I can only speak for myself, and I can just tell you that I do the best job that I can to teach people, to support them, and run a good business that people say, wow, I got way more than I thought I ever bargained for.
And I would say, if I could comment on the fact that you are also so passionate about helping people. So not only in the overage business, but also in your education, you're really interested in helping. And to me, that just shines through. And that's why someone should trust you.
Thank you.
I could answer your question.
I do get a lot of pleasure out of that.
Yay!
I mean, we get a couple times a week, we'll get deal stories from our students. And it's a picture of the student with a check, and then the story of the deal. And we always get some documentation, like copies of checks, and just to make sure people are being up and up. And it's really fun, seeing those stories, because on the other side of these things is always someone who's had a hard time. You don't lose your house at tax sale because you're just, forgot to pay the bill over 3 or 4 years. That's not the way it happens. It's just, people get sick, somebody dies in the family, just things have happened that have been really tough.
Right.
And it's, to help people like that in that situation, even if it's indirect, even if it's my student that I taught the business and they go help, I really get a lot of pleasure out of that.
Beautiful.
So, we make a lot of money in the business itself, but also I get a lot of pleasure out of the, you guys going out there and helping people that we never would have gotten to.
Yeah.
And we can't get to everybody. 3,000 tax sales a day. There's no hope for one person to get to all of them.
So here comes a really basic question.
What do you got?
How does it work?
So, could you clarify the question?
So
how does it work?
With overages, how does it work?
How's the business work?
Yeah, how does the business work overall?
So pretty straightforward. House is sold at tax sale, and then the government agency that sells it makes a list of properties that were sold, how much they sold for. And then they'll make a list of what monies are left over after they've paid the taxes.
Right.
So we teach you how to get those lists and then how to find the people, because they've probably moved. When their house is lost to tax sale, they're going to have to move somewhere else. So we teach you how to locate them, how to get their Facebook address, their email address, their phone number, all their new physical address, so you can contact them. And we teach you how to do it. Then we teach you the words to say. We have what's called a call script, which is really, what do you say to walk someone from, oh, can this possibly be real? This must be a scam, to, I'll try this. I'm scared it may not work out, but I'll try it. So how to do that. And then how to turn in the claim, how to get through the government bureaucracy, which isn't bad. It's really not. I wanted to say it's like getting your tax refund, but it's not as hard as filling in a tax, your tax form every year. So it's not that hard.
Right.
But it's just you fill in the application, you send it in, and a couple months later, they'll send you a check back.
Right.
Really not too difficult. So I would say that the magic in the business is really around that conversation. You've got to know how to get the list, where to do the business. We cover all that. The magic isn't really talking to that person that's owed the money, and it's going to be skeptical for sure.
Yep.
That's, everybody says, well, what's the catch? The catch is you have to get through the skepticism. You need to be patient with people. You need to listen to our advice, and you need to realize that some people will and some people won't, and you just have to be okay with it. And it's okay, because that's where they are in life. And just be understanding with themselves and with yourself if you don't do it perfectly. And then just get back on the horse and try it again.
Yep. Just keep on repeating until...
Yes. Rinse and repeat.
Yep. Rinse and repeat. Okay. So I have another question for you. How do I get started?
Really simple. So we have a course that teaches you the business from beginning to end. It's complete. It's got everything from the forms that you need to, the education, the call scripts, everything that you need to do the business. Get the course, and it's given to you online in both video and written format. So depending how you learn, if you like to watch videos and learn that way, then you can learn with the videos. If you like to do it from written materials, the written materials correspond to the video. I like to do both. I like to watch a video for an overview, and then I like to read for the details. Mm-hmm. So you may like that. So you get access to both. Go through that. And also, as we kind of make a chapter about a topic, like first chapter is about where to do the business. So read that chapter and then say, I think I'm going to do the business here.
Yeah.
Next chapter is about how to get the lists. So read that chapter and then go get yourself a couple of lists. Next one is about how to find the people. So then, say, all right, I got these lists. Let me find 2 or 3 of these people just to cement this knowledge in. And just keep doing it step by step. You don't have to learn everything before you do anything. Just learn like what's in that chapter. Mm-hmm. And chapters usually 12 to 15 pages. Learn that and do that. And that way you can sort of spoon feed yourself and not feel overwhelmed.
Right.
Because overwhelm is not a nice feeling and not productive.
Right.
So,
and that's all you can do is learn one piece.
Yes.
and really master it. I think I love the old saying, I do not fear the man that learned 10,000 kicks or 10,000 punches. I fear the man, that was Bruce Lee. I fear the man that actually practiced one punch 10,000 times or one kick 10,000 times. So if you master one thing before you move on, then you won't tend to get overwhelmed.
That's really good advice. I love that. Yeah, I think I'll adopt that one.
Good.
That's
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, and it is one chapter at a time. That's who made a chapter about something to do in the business. And read your 12 to 15 pages and then do it. And that way, if you're struggling, like, I had to go back and look at that page again, then you do that, and pretty soon you'll be successful. That also tends to build the confidence, because as you do something, you say, I got a list. I got a second list. And all of a sudden, you're getting a tailwind behind you.
Right.
So.
Yep. That's one of the biggest things, is just learning how to master something before you go on to the next thing, because otherwise it becomes too steep a gradient and then people get overwhelmed. So I have another question for you. So what do I have to lose if I don't get your course?
The opportunity. I mean, this is a fabulous opportunity for people that want to help people and make a lot of money for yourself, for the family, and the causes and things you care about. So you're really just letting an opportunity slip away. And if that's where you are, then that's where you are. It's okay. It's not going to change my life one way or the other. I want people to be successful, mm-hmm. but I realize people are in different places in their life. And, I'd like you to do something great that can be successful, and if it's calling to you, do it. If it's not, don't. It's really simple.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for your time in this question and answer. This is perfect.
Thanks for having me. And for you out there, thanks for listening, and go do it. If this calls to you, go do it. Click on the button if you see a button on your screen, or go to the URL, or give us a call and do this. Give yourself a chance to be successful. Because, as they say, each great journey is started with one step. This is the step to what can be a great journey for you. And try it. I promise the opportunity is there. All you have to do is follow the system, and you can be successful.